Hello and welcome to Model Kit Beginner. Hope you're all doing well. I'm certainly doing all right, and welcome from a hot and steamy Cape Town. Today we're going to have a look at the Opel Blitz, which you see right over here. It's a truck from Italeri. I've built these kind of trucks. There are some Mercedes trucks which looks very similar, and actually Mercedes built Opel Blitzes in the war. As well as for Germany, they all built Opel Blitzes because Opel just couldn't keep up with the demand. The original model, and this is what we see over here, and what we were probably going to build, is from 1936. It's kind of the prototype, if you want so. And this is something which was introduced in several car shows and shows for commercial vehicles. Now this will be very interesting because it certainly is not a new kit. You can see it is has a bit of a yellowish tint to it, and it's very interesting to see what it looks like inside. I've built a similar kind of truck from Mercedes, but in 135, very fiddly. This one is 124, so this will be different. But where does it come from? Where do we get this from? And what is the history of the kit itself, as well as a little bit of history of the Opel Blitz. Well, let's wait and have a look in the history section, where we'll meet you right now. So here we are with the Opel Blitz from Italeri. This was the very first version which came out in 1985, so that is the original box, if you want so. That's what we are having. There were other boxes which came out from Italeri, like which are just called the Classic Fire Truck, which was just an Opel Blitz as well. Then Revell got in onto it and used the same production facilities to build their Opel Blitz as 3 tons right over here as a mining car. And even this year Italeri reissued the Opel Blitz as a brewery vehicle, which is always very popular with a lot of modelers. Wonder why. But this particular one is hailing Loop. It has the number and address of the owner, which is Josef Mang. He is from Schweig, and the entire telephone number is 4 numbers long. And you can also see on the registration plate that this is a pre-war example. So, as I said, first one came out in 1936, so this is more or less what they looked like in those days. Interesting detail of the Opel Blitz is there were front-wheel drive trucks. They were not rear-wheel drive like trucks before and after. Germans, or Opel in particular, believed that if they are front-wheel drive, they will be better in more challenging environments because the weight of the engine and the cab will all be on the front-wheel drives and give them more grip. Well, this is not something which has been generally adopted in future builds of trucks, but interesting detail nevertheless. So we know now this is an original box from 1985. Now what is in a box from 1985 and what does it look like? Well, let's get down to the bench and have a look, shall we? So here we are with the classic truck Blitz 124 scale. It's a General Motors Opel. Opel obviously in the mid to late 20s was bought by General Motors. This is just what they call a model kit, and then we have the Chinese, Japanese, and other languages right over here. And we have a Jeep here. For I can think no other reason but advertising. There's not much interesting here. Here we have some more details about the Opel Blitz. So in different languages, all the way down to finish. Here we go. So that was interesting. Nothing at the back, and let's open the box. Here we are. You see a yellowish instruction sheet with quite a few plastic parts, some of them loose, which can be expected from a kit knocking about since the mid-80s. There's a seat. There we go. There's more plastic. More plastic. There's another loose part which looks like a storage box. There is this seems to be the paper which should go with the decals, and there is some other parts together with the transparent parts in this bag. Not always recommended. Right, and that's about it. You can see it's a second-hand kit which I bought, and comes with all the second-hand problems which can sometimes be, like having the clear parts together with normal plastic parts. The instruction sheet looks like this. It's just Opel Blitz, very cool. Then we have how to build a model, and then you have the sprues, so you can make sure everything is in there. Very nice for 1985. Quite a few producers didn't do that at 1985. Here we have the color call out, which appears to be 6 colors, so that is certainly something which is not too complicated. Then you have parts from A1 to A11 to build your frame, right over here. Then down here we get more to the suspension, front suspension, rear suspension. Then the massive 4-cylinder engine right over here. And how you get everything together with the wheels. And then it even has a black and white photograph what it should look like once you are finished with this part of the build. Then we get to the next one, which is the cabin right over here, and how to build the body, which is in several parts. Not always a favorite of everybody, but that can be managed. Then once again you come back to the final assembly. Now there's a spare wheel over here, and I also saw, oh yeah, it's the same spare wheel. Okay, so the spare wheel, and that comes up there. Then we get to the flatbed right at the back. Quite a few strengthening points needed to be attached right over here. Obviously the side panels here, another black and white photo what the truck looks like from the top with the engine without having the roof attached. Then we have fenders and other parts which needs to be attached to the loading area down there, front and rear drawing of the lorry. Then finally everything comes together, decals come on as well, and another drawing of the truck right down here, and that is it. That's the end of that. So that is the instruction sheet. It looks good enough, looks something which you could use to build a model. Now we have these freezer bag right over here, which is always a bit of a giveaway that we are not dealing with the original packaging. Right, we have the decal sheet. Well, this actually should be over. Right, let's get a bit closer here so we can actually see what we are on about. Right, there we go. Decal sheet, ESSO loop. We have over there, we have the name Josef Mang aus Schweig with the 4-digit telephone number, and we have the pre-war registration plates. How good they are still. They don't look cracked. Probably advisable to put a bit of a clear coat over it before you use them. Right. We will safely put those inside the instruction sheet. It's probably a better place for them than just hanging around loose. There are loose plastic parts which were together with the transparent parts, which is obviously not what you want. But here they are not thin, and some scratches on there, so that bit of polishing will be required. Now this might be due to mine and the package which it had to endure while it was kicking around. Maybe in the original one the clear plastic is in a separate package and it will be just fine. Right, let's start with the tires, which are not vinyl. Here you are. These are just normal styrene tires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need the 6 for the truck because they have obviously dualies at the back, and then we need one as a spare tire. This is right over here. Need to be glued together and obviously treated accordingly. So no vinyl tires in this baby. Let's talk about the loose parts which we have floating around here. We have the bench right over here, which looks very original. That's exactly what they look like. Not built for comfort, I can tell you that for nothing, especially with a straight seat. And you shouldn't be too tall either. I can tell you that out of my own experience. Then we have what appears to be a storage box. It has a nice lock here in front as well. Nice detail there. And then this is one of the wheels, front wheels, rear wheels. One of the rear wheels right over here. To see that in detail, and then that's probably just an inside part of the wheel construction. Right, let's start with the first sprue, which we have right over here. It is black in color. It seems to have frame parts right over here, which are relatively clean. They have seams, and the attachment to the sprue is pretty loose. Here are the rear fenders right over here. Nearly falls off, so no wonder there are parts falling off. There's the exhaust right over here. There is the detail for the cooling. There's the thing assembly. Geez, you know the word is. Anyway, you see there's the water pump and the generator right over here. Then we have the springs, huge leaf springs right over here. We have the quite a bit differential, so there was quite a bit of reducing going on. These things weren't fast, they were just strong. We have the steering wheel right over here, as I said, radiator assembly right over here. Tank seems to be over here, and then obviously the engine, and I like these old, tall, beautiful engines, really do. And then some more frame parts, which we have over here, together with the longish frame parts. And I actually like the detail on the drive shaft. Quite a huge drive shaft. I said it was front-wheel drive, so maybe it's even four-wheel drive. I think it's four-wheel drive. So here's the drive shaft to the rear. Right, so here we have the yellow sprue, as I said, very nicely textured right over here on both sides, and you can really knock yourself out and detail that and texture that very nicely. This is the frame parts below the loading bay and some other parts which I'm not quite sure what they do. There are a couple of hooks right over here, and other parts, and there obviously is then the bottom, which you can see over here, all made out of wood. Not bad, not bad. It doesn't look bad or unrealistic at all. It doesn't look simplified. Actually has a very nice texture, and I think you could mock that up very nicely. The last sprue is this one, which is the red one. We have seen that the roof section has come off right over here. So the roof and the bonnet, so you cannot open the bonnet without taking the entire roof section off, so that's a bit of a pity. But then you have the two side parts right over here. Here we go. We have interior panels, which you can see right over here, very simply kept with two molded in levers, one for the window and one to open the door. Then we have the front part right over here, and the back side right over here, and this is where the interior will eventually go. We have the wheels. These are the two front wheels. Here we have the rear wheels. We have seen these two parts loose already, so they obviously came loose from here. And we have brakes right over here, and here is the spare wheel, and there is the cockpit. Obviously no decals for that, so this will have to be all detailed by hand. And that is more or less everything you get in the box of the Opel Blitz from the fine folks at Italeri, a kit from 1985. And let's be honest, it does show that it certainly isn't a modern kit, so, but that's okay. It happens sometimes, you know, so we don't go for modern kits, we go for older kits, especially I do. And I think you can build that up a very nice truck if you're not in for trying to, you know, get the older models look really good. If that's not your jam, then this might possibly not be the kit for you. But let's go to the conclusion and see what the last words on this kit are. So here we are, and that was, geez, my hair. That was the Opel Blitz, the classic truck from Italeri, right over here. Pretty cool kit in my opinion. It is an old kit, it's a 1985 kit, and it is an Italeri kit to boot. So obviously these are challenges, and if you just want to build the perfect Tamiya kits, then this might not be the kit for you. But if you want to put in a little bit of work and a little bit of effort, I think you can build a very nice Opel Blitz. And if you like the Opel Blitz as much as I do, then this is a no-brainer whatsoever. So, very nice kit if you can get hold of it, even in the newer iterations which we had a look at the history sections. You're very, very, very welcome to get one of those if you like these kind of cars, kind of era trucks like I do. I wish you all a lovely, lovely week further ahead, and hope we meet again soon. And with that, greetings from Cape Town. Cheers.